Hi everybody, Rachelle Jones, Grief Recovery with Rachelle. So of course, coronavirus. What else would we be talking about right now? From a grief perspective, let's talk about that for a little bit. So I'm in a town where things are getting canceled. Everything, kids sports, sports for the county, sports for the city, high school sports, all kinds of stuff. Things are just shutting down left and right. I'll be surprised if I see my kids in school on Monday. Here's what I'm seeing though, and here's what I'm thinking about. For one, the kids who go to school for a safe place, losing their safe place until who knows when, or the kids who go to school because that's their one warm meal. They're losing something pretty valuable. Or the kids whose sports are being canceled. I have one who had playoff basketball. I know that the colleges are closed and some kids don't get to walk for graduation. That's canceled. I personally have a really fun event that I've been looking forward to. I actually bought it for my husband's Christmas gift. That's going to be canceled most likely. Just kind of waiting on it to become official. What I want you to hear is grief is the feelings people have on the inside, that physical feeling from events that are changing, from a death of their hope, a death of an expectation, a death of a dream that has enormous energy. And the main reason of this message is today is, for one, acknowledge that for yourself. Acknowledge that what you were hoping to have happen is now not going to happen, and that hurts. Acknowledge, pause for a second. Don't just try to steamroll through it. It's nothing. It's not a big deal. It is actually. Those feelings, those emotions bubble up, build, keep adding, mixing in with everything else you've got going on in your life. And it really can cause some explosive behaviors, explosive reactions. And I just want you to be aware of that. Check in with yourself. Am I feeling frustrated? Am I feeling sad? Am I feeling disappointed? Am I feeling just like, the world abandoned me? I want you to just check in with yourself, you, the adult, the leaders in your home and in your family, in your job setting, whatever it is. I mean, how many people, let's say servers, who are going to go to work or not have work, and how are they going to get paid? There's a lot of fear in this. If they're not getting paid, how do they pay their bills, and how do they buy food? The world is crazy about water and toilet paper and such, but what about people who aren't even going to be able to really afford food? So number one, I want you to have your eyes on yourself, be aware, but have eyes on other people a little bit too. Who's in your corner of the woods? And can you just maybe share or reach out to a little bit? Care for one another, love each other. Now, the other thing I want you to really think about are the children who are going through these changes. I want you to be really safe. So in the grief recovery method, we're always talking about, we do not compare and we do not minimize. That's going to be really big with kids because they're going to be sad that they're missing their game or their teacher or their friend at school. Don't minimize them. That's judgmental. Don't compare. Well, people have this thing going on over here. Nobody cares about your school. Nobody cares about your sport. Don't do that. This is the time to really practice as a leader listening. Listen to people with dignity and respect, especially those little people. Their little perspective is only able to be this big because that's how big they are. Hear them. It's still really powerful and important to them. So listen to the kids, listen to each other, but most importantly, you've got to listen to yourself. You've got to start with you every time. So we want to avoid comparison, avoid minimization. I want you, when you're listening, avoid advice, avoid analysis, avoid fixing, because all of that feels like judgment and criticism. This is the time to just listen. And so, for example, a child says, "Oh, I'm just so sad. Oh, why did it cancel my game? Oh," and they're throwing a fit. Please don't get on them because they're throwing a fit. Just say, "Wow, you're really upset about that, aren't you?" Yeah, okay. So what were you hoping, or what were you looking forward to about it? Engage them, get into that moment with them by just asking some gentle questions. Mind your tone. Don't be like, "Oh God, what was that? What was such a big deal about it?" Because that's not loving. That's not kind. That's not meeting them where they are. We want to be able to meet each other where they are. So especially the kids, though, the kids get so beat up in this type of thing emotionally because People don't listen to them. We've got to listen to our kids at all the different ages and stages. Don't think that because your kid is a teen or a preteen or a sixth grader or a fifth grader that they are immune to emotion and they're big enough, they should know better. Please don't do that. Please listen to your kids, definitely, and draw them out if they're just... The way that we know that our kids have grief or that emotional energy trapped inside of them, they sleep different. They have sleep changes, they have eating changes, they have behavior changes, they have concentration changes. I want you to be aware of that in your home. Pay attention what's going on and pay attention to the neighbor kids. For goodness sakes, I can promise you that we will be going outside at some point. We're just going to have to go, we're going to go on a bike ride or on a walk or something to get some fresh air and some sunshine. And I can't necessarily encourage you to do the same, but what I can encourage you to do is when you're out there, if you see something that just doesn't seem right to you, ask or call somebody. Just do something. Just be aware of what's going on in the world around you. Most importantly, though, be aware of what's going on in the world inside of you, because it always starts there. Practice being more aware of yourself, really acknowledging your emotions as real and valid, but also acknowledge the emotions of the people around you as real and valid, because we're all beautiful and unique. And what's bubbling up inside of each one of us is true and correct and right for us. And if it's sour, it's just going to grow more and more sour, affecting more and more things if we aren't heard. The most essential thing we need is someone to hear us without judging, analysis, advice, criticism, fixing, minimization. We don't want any of that, okay? We just need to be heard with dignity and respect. Please make sure you're doing that for yourself, for the little people in your life, as well as the older people in your life. I love you all. I hope this is helpful. Hey, be safe out there. Use your toilet paper. Bye, everybody.